Many of you have asked for an update about Bob.
Andre, who the heck is Bob?
Bob is the military truck that we really, really wanted to buy, and we are still buying.
Yeah, so we are almost about to take delivery
Yes.
of a super cool and unusual truck, and we want to share our experiences and the costs associated with buying a converted military truck. So
It's a Bob Deuce and a half, basically.
is that why it's named Bob?
Yes, Bob.
Okay, so Andre, give us some background. There's a company called Boyce Equipment,
Yes.
which is a company in Ogden, Utah, that takes these ex-military surplus vehicles and then does a bunch of stuff to them and sells them to you and me and Bob.
Exactly. This is how you can save a lot of money compared to other brand new trucks that you could convert and customize, but still have a very unique, customized, off-road ready truck on 46s.
Yeah.
We're talking about 46-inch tires. And this is all thanks to this company, Boyce Equipment. I mean, they're not the only ones, but I think they built some of the coolest customized vehicles and do it affordably. Look, they start at $37,500.
Now, let's talk about that, right?
Yes.
Because deuce and a halves are not new. A lot of people have been driving around in deuce and a halves outside the military for years and years and
Yeah.
years. And a lot of you are going to comment, well, I can go onto Facebook and pick one of these things up for like $12,000 or $15,000. In some cases, even less.
Yes.
And what these folks are referring to is you can go to a military auction and buy one of these at surplus. However, you're really rolling the dice. You're taking a gamble.
Yes.
Because a lot of the ex-surplus trucks have major mechanical issues, they're heavily neglected, they've been sitting outside for years. So what Boyce does is they buy these at auction, then they refurbish them, bring them up to running and driving spec, they do new wheels and tires, they go through the brakes and the engine, make sure it's all good, and then they customize them with many, many options to exactly how you want. So what you end up with is a high-quality product that you know is going to work, and with a Utah title.
Yeah, because you want to enjoy the vehicle, not just wrench on it. And these trucks are hard to wrench on because axles are humongous, tires are huge. Each tire may weigh 200, 300 pounds, right?
Yes.
So it's not like in any garage you can kind of pull up and service it. All the components are oversized, for example. And we also have video of you actually visiting Boyce Equipment, right?
Yeah.
But just an example, our truck is powered by a Cat 3116 diesel engine, which is actually a fairly common engine. I mean, they built a lot of them.
Sure.
4-speed Allison automatic transmission, so this is not a manual.
Yep.
And air shift transfer case, air over hydraulic brakes. I mean, these are all pretty solid components.
Yeah, so the base truck, you can see it here on the website, starts at $37,500. And it goes through exactly what that includes. It includes a fiberglass top, recovered seats, the electrical system has gone through, the engine has gone through, it's got central tire inflation system, so it's got all this stuff, right? And it's going to be ready to go for $37,500. Now that does seem like a lot of money if you're in the deuce and a half world, but relative to the fact that you really can't buy a base model F-150 for $37,500.
Or we paid that much for a Maverick.
Right, but you can buy a huge 2.5-ton military truck that's ready to go. Seems pretty cool. Now, the thing about these deuce and a halves is they arrive at Boyce as 6x6s.
Yeah, let's show some pictures of our truck in progress.
Yeah, you want to go to those now, Ian? So the 6x6 is cool.
Yeah.
In that you can carry a lot of stuff, right? You've got a lot of payload and towing capacity, but realistically, the 6x6 is a challenging thing to drive, especially on off-road trails. It's just a big...
Or even streets.
Or streets.
Yeah.
It's just a big, heavy beast. So the first thing that gets done on these trucks is they bob them, right?
Hence Bob.
Yeah, hence the word bob.
So they actually cut the frame and redo the rear section of it because it now becomes a 4x4 truck, basically. But what I really wanted and what we all discussed, with Roman and team, is that we want to be able to use it to tow standard trailers, not just pintle military trailers, right? So we're going to have a 2-inch receiver. And here's some of the images of the truck in progress. Look at this. They almost take it down to the frame.
Yeah.
I mean, raw frame, and in the front, if you look at the front, the hood and fenders are basically off, the engine is exposed. They're really going through it piece by piece.
Yeah, so they do major service on the braking system, the axles, the engines to make sure they're ready to go. So our truck is in the workshop
That's
now.
Bob.
That's Bob. That's our exact truck.
Yeah.
6 months ago, I went there and picked out the actual truck that we were going to use, which was pretty cool. We did that on camera. And Boyce has hundreds of trucks to choose from on the lot, all in various states of disrepair. And then they bring them into their facility, and they're going to cut the frame, they're going to go through the mechanicals, and then they're going to paint it, and you can really pick any number of colors.
Now, this is an A3 model, not an A2. This has got a cat motor with an Allison. This is more of like an early 90s era is what this is. But what we do is we basically put the front suspension that's on the front end, we put it on the rear end. And we'll just put the axle where it needs to be to kind of center everything up. We pull the whole engine, transmission out. Engine we totally go through. Obviously new head gasket. While we're in there, we're looking for anything else that needs to be replaced or repaired.
So obviously, like this white truck has seen better days.
It has seen better days.
Is that like a truck that's too far gone, you think, for what you would do? Yeah.
No, I look at this truck, bumper looks pretty good, fenders are straight on it, hood's pretty straight on it, doors need some love. Honestly, it's a pretty good looking truck to kind of build off from. So it's not automotive paint, just FYI, you can see it's kind of we just kind of threw it up there. We use high industrial paint, or we use like the military carc bases and things like that. Okay. So we'll come in here, we'll do body paint guy here. He freaking just bangs it. He'll just do all the body up on it, make sure everything's straight, everything's looking good, everything's sanded down, even because he wants to have a nice empty canvas where everything's all straight, right?
And then there are tons of options you can go through. So Andre, walk us through the options we decided to get on Bob.
So first of all, rear window and the fiberglass top.
Okay.
So that's a safety item, right?
Yep.
You really want as much visibility as possible. And that's only $210.
Sliding rear window.
Yeah. So now, also we chose power steering. That was a big one because we wanted to take it to Moab. We wanted to take it on some off-road trailers. And turning those 46s by hand, I mean, I haven't been to the gym that often. So
in no way I'm going to be able to do it. No, that's a really big option. It's very expensive. It's $4,250.
And we chose it.
100% worth it. Yep.
Yes. Next one is really the rear hitch.
Yep.
Which is listed at around $700. I don't know. Is this on the screen as well? Well, there is $350 plus another $350 for the 12-volt 7-pin. So that's about $700.
Okay.
Now, spare tire, about $450.
Got to have one of those. And keep in mind, these are brand new tires, and they're huge, enormous.
Yes. Air locker for the rear. So we were discussing this because you could also get an air locker in the front.
Yes.
But we decided, just the size of this truck and turn them, we want it to be maneuverable, basically.
Right. And look, here's the thing. If you can't get unstuck with the rear air locker in this truck, you probably shouldn't be going there in the first place. So you can see on the actual screen here, you can get either Detroit lockers, which are kind of automatic lockers, or air lockers. But the ARB seems to be the way to go.
And we chose that.
That's about $1,500.
That was a big price item.
Yep, we got lockout hubs.
Yes, $500.
Yep.
Turnkey. So a lot of the military trucks actually don't have a key. Where you can just kind of turn this little knob and then start it. So we did get a key. Bed liner for the bed and the bumper. And the bed itself is going to be basically a flatbed, kind of. Military-style trailer flatbed. And then another big item is the winch. We chose a 15,000-pound electric winch right there. So that's about $1,800.
Now, look, these things are huge and heavy. So if you're really stuck, that might not cut the mustard. You can also get an 18,000-pound winch. But for what we're doing, we should be fine. Now, look, there's a ton of stuff that we didn't actually get. We didn't get the bucket seat spring ride. We didn't get the camo paint. We didn't get air conditioning.
Actually, we did.
We did get air conditioning.
Yeah, it's not on this list, but we've been going back and forth with Dallas.
Oh.
And Roman and I decided to get overhead air.
Nice.
Basically, it's kind of a ceiling mounted in the cab air conditioner.
We didn't get the double drive PTO.
Nope.
Just for our needs, we don't really need that. No. With Detroit lockers, we went with the air locker.
No dumb bed.
No, but look, so I asked Dallas Boyce, I said, look, what are people using these for? And he said, there are a bunch of different people that buy these. Sometimes they're bought by preppers, right? Sometimes they're bought by ranchers, like in Wyoming. Sometimes they're bought by mining folks. Sometimes they're bought by logging companies. So these are trucks that are not only built to look cool and functional, but they're actually built to be used in really tough scenarios.
In businesses, yeah.
Now, Ian, if you go to the top, I do want to talk about something which is kind of unique about Boyce. They really specialize in these deuce and a halves, and there's a couple different versions. So there's the A2 and the A3.
Yeah.
So we went for the A3, and do you want to explain why?
Well, it's a little bit more modern. Newer, right? And by newer, what is it, 70s or?
Yeah, I think ours is 80s, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So click on the A2, Ian. We can take a look at what those look like. That's just above there.
Yeah.
So I love the look of these trucks. They're a little bit older. They've got the inboard headlights, which look fantastic. They're also a little bit more affordable, but they're quite a bit more rudimentary. So they're even slower. They run an engine, which is a very cool engine, but it's called the multi-fuel engine, which runs on basically anything that's flammable.
Kerosene, anything.
Yes, but they are only manual transmissions, which is a problem for some of our videographers. It's also a problem for resale. The fact of the matter is the Allison 4-speed's just easier. They're slower, right? So
overall,
they're just a little bit less usable, even though I think they look a lot cooler. And then the other option we could have gone to is the 5-ton truck.
Yes, and you saw some of them while you were there.
Yes. And the 5-ton truck, the M Series, I think it's the M Series there. Oh, actually, no, those are the really old ones. Those are so cool. Do the 800 series Bob trucks, or the 900 series.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think it's the 900. Go to the 900 series, Ian.
5-ton.
Sure. So they do these both bobbed and not bobbed.
And you could see on the pictures, actually, the front axle is a little bit more forward. They're just larger by height and also by length. I mean, they're humongous.
Yeah, they're just very ridiculously big.
Yeah.
So the deuce and halves are already huge, but the 5 tons are just stupid big.
And by the way, military rates their trucks. They used to rate them and still rate them basically for the weight carrying capacity over no road conditions. So if you were to take this truck, load it with 5 tons in this case, or 2.5 tons for the deuce and a half, and just go across a desert. That's how they're rated basically on durability and weight carrying. Because
the crazy thing is, when you look at this truck and then hear 5 ton, you're like, geez, only 10,000 pounds.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot.
Yeah, but it's how they're rated.
It's rated to go anywhere.
Yeah, but it's been a really pretty cool experience, and so far that we are right on track to when we're supposed to take delivery.
Yeah, you see, our truck is basically torn up down, and now it's going to be built up.
Yeah, so we a couple different colors you can choose from. We went with like a dark green, I think, didn't we?
Yes.
Which is going to be very cool. And the other crazy thing too is, look, these are sold. The Boyce, as I understand it, they take care of the titling process as well. So that they sell these trucks to you with titles ready to go, which is just awesome.
And you can do a custom color. I mean, anything is possible for a price.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like there's a bright yellow one.
You can do camouflage.
A lot of these came or are going to fire departments. It's pretty common to do fire departments. So tons of options that you could do there. The sky's kind of your limit. But look, the reason I'm excited about the price, so all in, if you were to buy our truck, it'd be about $47,000.
Yes.
With about 10,000 in options, which is a lot. But when you consider like a Unimog from J Couch is $500,000, right?
Or can be.
Or can be in a lot of cases. It's not that crazy.
Exactly. Or for $47,000, I mean, you could buy an F-150 stock truck that doesn't have 46s and it won't go, almost anywhere in any condition. So I am super psyched. And I know it's been a long time since we published the first video. That's why we wanted to do this update to let you know it's still coming, and it's coming hopefully within the next 5 weeks or so, maybe 6.
100%. Yeah. So be sure to stay tuned where we're going to fly out. And then the plan is we're going to drive it is the idea.
Yes. Or through Moab.
Going to be a bit of a drive because I've heard they only do 55, 60, right?
You know what I want to do?
What do you want to do?
Bob versus Loaf.
Bob versus Loaf.
Yeah, Buhanka versus Bob.
Loaf. I love that, Andre.
Yes.
We got to make that happen.
Yes.
So I'm excited to see if it's going to be as uncomfortable as some of the military guys say it is, or if it's going to be pretty cushy. So be sure to stay tuned to All TFL. We got that video coming soon.
Exactly. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.